to Primetime News and a special welcome once again to our viewers on onespotmedia.com. This evening, we are in mourning as our colleague and friend Michael Sharpe has died. He'd been hospitalized at the University Hospital of the West Indies since March 14. Took his last breath early this morning. In Primetime News this evening, we take a look back at his life. Moxham begins our coverage.
Michael Sharpe's early days in journalism included brief stints at the Gleaner, the Jamaica Information Service, and the Jamaica Broadcasting Corporation, JBC. Then he joined the staff of Radio Jamaica in March 1984. This came shortly after he had covered the Grenada invasion for the JBC. He was recruited for RJR by the company's managing director, Lester Spalding.
He had reason to be at the JBC, and he said, Mr. Sharpe would like you to come down to radio. And I thought of it. I went to a good friend, and I said, what do you think about that? And I said, yeah. He said, yeah, come on down.
He distinguished himself covering Parliament for the next decade, and in that capacity, developed the 5-minute review of each sitting of the House and Senate in the feature, Inside Gordon House.
Welcome to Inside Gordon House, focusing on the parliamentarians, their decisions and how these affect our lives.
Michael Sharpe made it to Port of Spain in 1990 to report on the attempted coup against the government of Prime Minister A.N.R. Robinson.
The Prime Minister was released at 1:20 when he was escorted to a Red Cross vehicle by one of his ministers, who still remains in captivity, and by one of his captains.
He served as deputy news editor for RJR in the 1990s and also hosted a nighttime talk show, Sharpe Talk. That show served as an outreach vehicle for many disadvantaged persons who brought their needs and concerns to him. It led to various fundraising efforts to alleviate some of those needs and an initiative to send some kidney patients to Cuba for treatment.
The airwaves belong to the people, and it strengthens them when you use it for them and not for yourself.
After the acquisition of JBC TV, renamed TVJ, he served briefly as head of television news before the radio and the television newsrooms were merged. He co-anchored primetime news on TVJ with Doreen Samuels for more than a decade. At the time of his passing, he was news operations manager at Jamaica News Network, part of the RJR Gleaner Group. But he still had a presence on Radio Jamaica, being a relief host on the talk show Hotline and doing the morning traffic report once per week. Throughout his career, Michael Sharpe credited the journalist Terry Smith for inspiring him to be the best he could be.
Terry Smith taught me that I belong as a journalist, a member of the Fourth Estate. We belong here, and we must kill them with excellence. Those were the words that really harnessed my thoughts and my brains and caused me to deliver.
Michael Sharpe, dead at age 65.
Now, the year was 1999. Michael Sharpe took on perhaps the most important assignment yet as head of news at TVJ. That, however, did not stop him from hitting the streets in search of news. And he had a team. They called themselves the Men in Black. Here they are, the Men in Black. Not dressed in black suits like the movies, but there was once a time they roamed the streets at night in search of the next big news story. The leader of the pack, Michael Sharpe.
I think Michael is one of the greatest journalists I live to work with. This is a man who takes chance in life. And not too much gunshot of fire down the road. Him say not here, come here, hit the road. And trust me, that's it. So even television is about seeing it, believing, And Michael always believe that seeing it, believing. So you have to shoot it so the people can believe it.
And Michael Sharpe asked me what is it that I want to do. I said I want to be one of the best camera operators coming out of Jamaica. And I remember there were a lot of tough times because I wasn't employed to TVG at the time. And Michael Sharpe saying that the only way that we can conquer them is by excellence. By always making sure that we put our best foot forward. Punctuality. There were a lot of things that he instilled in us as a group.
Under his tutelage, the TVJ newsroom would become an institution for learning and development in media.
He said to myself and Kirkland, I want you guys to be the presenters of News at 10. Well, he wanted to do some training, and we decided to hide from Sharpe as soon as the 7 o'clock news was finished. We decided to find a way to try to hide from him. And one night he was waiting at the gate, and he says, Mr. Barnaby, we're given this opportunity. Don't turn it down. He brought me into the world of journalism because I studied civil engineering.
Good.
I remember when I got tired of that, I made a call to Michael Sharpe. And I said to him, boy, I want to become a journalist, you know. And he said, what you can do? He said, have any experience? I said, no. He said, come interview you. Went, did interview. And this part is profound. And Michael Sharpe said to me, I'm only going to interview you because of your attitude. And I thought to myself, I only want one day at TVJ, you know. And that was from 2002. And here I am today.
Carrie Ann Lee also joined the news team after university.
Went with me to Parliament and taught me about parliamentary procedure, role of the speaker, how to cover it. He taught me how to cover a crime scene.
Of the group, his best friend, Kevin Savage, would be the last to have seen Michael Sharpe alive. He recounted the moments leading to Sharpe's hospitalization.
He started to say, this is it. And I had to curse him and I lift him up because no COVID couldn't stop me from my friend. So I lift him up and I put him in the vehicle and I rushed him. And never knew that would have been the last drive I would have made with my friend.
Michael's next assignment was to head JNN. As news of his death sunk in, it was almost impossible for the staff to concentrate. In his office, his belongings still remain. For many of us, it is hard to imagine that he won't be coming back. Now, as a journalist, Michael Sharpe was versatile, and despite the beat, he was thorough, probing, and fearless. Here's OShea Masters with a look back at some of his work.
These are the best of times, and these are the worst of times.
The words of Michael Sharpe, a veteran journalist who died at the University Hospital of the West Indies on Tuesday morning. He, for many, had a larger-than-life personality. He probed the relevant authorities for the answers to some questions. During his life's journey, he highlighted those who did wrong through many of the shows he did, whether on radio, free-to-air television, or cable, Jamaican News Network. One of such stories went viral last year, that of 3 goat thieves in Stony Hill, St. Andrew.
When 2 of the 3 men involved in the larceny of 4 goats in the month of May turned up for the first time in court on Wednesday, they were officially introduced as goat thief number 1 and goat thief number 3 by the clerk of the court. The laughter which followed suggested that they needed no introduction, thanks to their action which went viral.
He also sought to highlight the inefficiencies of motorists through the roving report on Radio Jamaica 94 FM and Candid Cam, which was aired on GNN.
The driver of this Toyota Coaster minibus, registered PE8125, he travels along the roadway still under construction, undertaking a line of traffic in his hustling effort. All indications, this bus should not be on the roadway. When last checked, insurance had expired. The registration was on a grace period, and the fitness outdated.
But more so, Mr. Sharpe was loved for his role as the presenter of the current affairs program, TVJ's Your Issues Live, which sought to address the issues affecting communities, and the undeniable chemistry between his co-anchor, Doreen Samuels, as anchor for the television station's flagship program, Primetime News.
The law is on the books. For capital, for hanging, for capital punishment. Why are we not carrying it out?
Well, in the first place, there is a strong, extremely strong international lobby against the death penalty. And right now, with the countries in the countries of the world, it's about half and half. About half the number of countries in the world have abolished capital punishment.
As a journalist, he broke many a news story throughout his illustrious career. One such is the crowd killings in Clarendon on May 7, 2003, which left 4 persons dead. OShea Masters, TVJ News.
Still to come this evening, turn to Cuba. Jamaica urged to start discussions to